Everybody, give me a second. Just give me a second. Yeah, what's going on? Hey, everybody, just hold on for a second. Today is a crazy day. It really is. Share this video out, you guys. I just need a. Ugh, too much going on. And you know what the thing? I think the thing that stresses me out the most is that most of the stuff that's going on is it's just foolishness. It really is. It's just stupid. It's a bunch of nonsense is going on right now, and I'm just getting bombarded. So today I'm just gonna talk to you guys about it, share you guys' opinions, so I'm not just talking to myself in my own mind about the just madness that's just going on. Oh my goodness, just give me like 3 minutes just to detox.
Hello.
Yo,
So,
2
you guys been busy
minutes,
there for
two
some?
minutes. It's a bunch of nonsense happening. So the first thing is some guy. Well, I guess we'll talk about Billy's situation first before we about my situation. So apparently, Billy Mitchell scored 1 million points. Um, yeah, Billy Mitchell scored 1 million points on Donkey Kong. In fact, I'll run it on my wall. You'll see the video the whole 9 yards. I'll just play it so that you guys can see it for yourselves. I'll just mute my mic and you can watch it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Good afternoon to you guys. I actually just woke up. I've been in the Octopath Traveler trap for like the entire day. I literally put like 10 hours into the game last night on the stream. But I woke up to some news today. So apparently, Billy Mitchell has scored 1 million points in Donkey Kong. He streamed it live on Twitch. This was happening last night. I guess he was playing overnight, and I was playing overnight as well. He hit me up earlier. His son hit me up. You guys can take a look at the video here. Yeah, this is like his tweet of the actual 1 million points of when he actually got it. So, and just wanted to give you guys this little news that he actually played and got the score again. So, it's been said that he's never gotten 1 million points before, and that's absolutely 100% not true. Even if he performed it on main, which he didn't, because there was no conclusive evidence whether or not Billy even played main. The issue here is that he didn't play an official, untampered with Donkey Kong PCB board. So to give you guys a little understanding about that, and for those who don't know much about arcades, a lot of arcades back then, boards would they would degrade over time, and transistors needs to be replaced or boards needs to be repaired, or what they call worked on. And people who restores arcade boards, guys like Richie Knuckles, he restores actual arcades. They restore them back to 90 to 99% what they are. And according to Twin Galaxies rules, you have to play on the original board that's not worked on for whatever reason, according to these new rules by Twin Galaxies itself. You can't work on any of the boards. So according to them, they said that that was not an official board, and thus they have to strike his score. They would need way more scientific evidence to be able to prove whether or not it's a main. But from someone who's been playing video games since the 80s, there's no such thing as a MAME board. Not then, not now. You can't make a MAME board. You can't make a MAME arcade board. It doesn't work. So, so they're saying that Billy never scored 1,000,000 points ever. And today, as you guys can see, well, last night anyway, he actually scored 1,000,000 points. His son helped him with stuff that he did with Twitch, the whole 9 yards. But I'm actually talking about this today because this is just Billy just getting back into the flow of things, because he wants to prove that he can get all 3 of those scores that he's gotten in the past that they said that he wasn't able to do. So to say that Billy actually never got the score is that's just 100% flat out wrong and inaccurate, false, lie, whatever you want to call it. Because whether he did it on a bootleg ROM board or whatever the case may be, he still physically had to do it. He still had to actually perform the actual task to get 1,000,000 points. So he's actually gotten it, and here he proves that he gets it again. And but like the thing about this, it's something I find real crazy. It's not really him getting 1,000,000 points that got me like whoa. What has me like whoa is that there's a gentleman called Tipster, right? And he's of late had great interest in the whole classic gaming community and all the stuff that's been going on with Billy Mitchell, Todd Rogers, and even to some degree some stuff that people accuse me of that piqued his interest. But Tipster doesn't see the same wavelength that I'm looking at, the same plane I'm looking at. He really has an issue with me due to his interaction with my community on Discord and YouTube. But it's the internet, so And with that, the very same people who championed his cause when he did interviews and videos about Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers and the verdicts that went against those guys, that championed him, cheered him on, pushed him, supported him. There was like a football stadium. He decided to do a video about Billy and getting his new 1,000,000 points since the last time he got it. And these guys are going in on him on social media. I'm like, they're literally raging against him and stabbing him, and I'm like, what is wrong with these guys? It's crazy. I'm like, at the end of this video, guys, you guys need to go check out Tipster's new video about Billy Mitchell. He actually covers it more in depth, so you guys will get a better understanding of like the whole thing. But he talks about the harassment, the life death threats that he's getting online from some of these people, and some of these people were the same people who was championing the cause when he was reporting on the verdicts against Billy and Todd. But in any event, before I go, let me call Billy and congratulate him, see what he has to say. Hey Billy, what's going on? How's everything?
Everything's always good. Matter of fact, things are perfect. What makes you think they're anything different?
You know how it is, the internet these days. So last night you scored 1,000,000 points. Congratulations on that. Just wanted to call and give you the official congratulations in the whole 9 yards. I'm doing a little video.
What is this?
What happened?
What is this? Congratulations.
No.
This is not my first. This is not my first rodeo.
I know.
I've been around the block before.
And I've said that before. I said it's not like whether or not people have decided to say that you cheated on a MAME board, which there's no such thing then, there's no such thing now, or a bootleg ROM, or whatever the case may be, that it's not official, or it's not the first time you've scored 1,000,000 points. You did this. This was on Twitch, right? And there's an actual Twitch link where you can watch the entire video and so forth.
Well, the truth of the matter is my son is smart, and I'm not. And as far as Twitch goes, he's got everything lined up that is needed. And, he enjoys the game scene. I can't imagine where he gets it. But to tell you what really happened, in all seriousness, there's a place here in Fort Lauderdale called Glitch.
Oh, okay.
Funny, we're on Twitch, but it's called Glitch. And the guy's a great guy. He's an awesome guy. He's really nice, him and his staff and everybody. I mean, we go there. They won't let us pay for anything. I mean, they darn near give us the keys to the place, and they're very nice people. It's got a lot of games and pinballs, and it's got some console games as well, and it's a barcade. And again, they're very nice, and it takes my son about 2 minutes to get set up there. And I was talking on the phone to Richie, and he said he mentioned that it was his birthday. I'm not supposed to tell you that, so I didn't say that. All right.
Okay.
But he said it was his birthday, and oh, my wife wanted to go out, and my son wanted to go out, and so I said to my wife, I go, how about if we do something different? She says, what? She has never seen me play any game, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, she's seen me play in a game, but she's never sat and watched the game. And I said to her, I go, well, you want to go to that place that I go to? It's called Glitch. And she goes, okay. I'm not lying to you. She has never seen me play. I said, if you come to Glitch, I said, I'll do 1,000,000 points for you because it's the first time we've ever done this. And I told Richie that I'd do 1,000,000 points for his birthday. And again, go back to the guy at Glitch. He's a real decent guy. And I told him, I said, I'll do 1,000,000 points in your place. So you'll have a 1,000,000-point machine. And I'll sign it and all that fun, silly stuff. And he said, great. So we went there and we did it. And like the thing is, like anything, the first couple times I played, there was bad luck. And my son even said to me, he says, you want to continue or you want to call it a night? I go, all right, let me try one more. Well, the first guy died at like 140, and I would have quit. But I couldn't quit and leave, or I couldn't quit and start again. So I continued playing. The next guy went like around to 300,000. And I thought, But I could see it was flowing good and things were going good. The next guy went 7 near 800,000. And then the last guy went to 1,000,000. And as I was approaching 1,000,000, I began to slow down the point press for points because I wanted to stop it right on 1,000,000. I began to slow down the push. And then once I got just within a board or two, actually stopped grabbing hammers in some places. And I sat at the top and I waited for the exact moment. And I pushed it. It rolled all zeros. And that's the way it is. And, oh, well, it ain't my first rodeo, and
most likely
we'll have more fun again in the future.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, one guy says to me, he goes, hey, how'd you cheat? I go, it wasn't easy. I says, it was the bartender, the manager, the owner, all kinds of people around, patrons. I says, there was even some police there and everything. And basically, I had to threaten everybody that if they didn't go along with this, if they didn't let me cheat, okay, I would break their legs. And even the police officers backed off, said, do whatever you want, Billy.
They gave you the clearance because they understood.
Yeah.
All right, Billy.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
No. I had one silly guy say that to me in humor, one guy. And I said to him, I go, once you get out of your teenage years, I go, you'll stop believing what everybody says. Once you get out of your teenage years, you'll stop believing what you're told to believe. I says, you'll begin to think a little for yourself. And I says, and when you do, that's great. And I says, if you never get to that point, well, then you got some illnesses, and I can't really help you anyway. So we laughed a bit about it. So, it's been all fun, and what can I say? It's good stuff.
Okay, Billy. Thank you for the time. I'll give you a call a little bit later on tonight. We can catch up and talk about some other stuff. I just wanted to get your point on it. I wanted to publicly congratulate you on your scores and stuff like that. So, but we'll definitely be talking.
Remember, half of what I say, I want you to take extremely serious. Okay, the other half is just humor. Okay, the funny thing is, I'm not going to tell you which half is which. You can just figure that out for yourself.
Trust me,
All right,
I know which half is
half.
Again. I'll talk to you again.
All right.
Bye. All right, later, Billy. Okay, guys, so that was it with Billy. Just wanted to give him a congratulations on the whole thing. He's over there threatening people's babies and stuff like that to get the records. He has to do what he got to do to get the records. That's a joke, by the way, for some people who can't get that. Yeah, just letting you know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching my, recent video on this whole matter. Like I said, look at the end card, look in the description. I'll leave you guys a Twitch link where you can actually watch Billy's actual game. And then you should jump over to Tipster's actual page and watch his newest video about Billy getting 1,000,000 and the stuff he has to go through. Later. All right, guys. So, let me double check to see how many. That was a good warm up to what's going on in here. Yeah, 82 people in here. So I know you guys are wondering what is Triforce Collison. Whitey showed us that video. So if you're looking on my Facebook page right now, you're gonna see a whole bunch of people commenting towards the whole video and everything and all that other stuff. So my I have so much on my mind right now. It's just so much foolishness that's just going on. It's literally just absolute just it's just madness. I don't even know what else to call it other than madness. It really is just madness. Um let me put this down because I'm over here playing Octopath. So yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff going on now. Twin Galaxies made a dispute system, right? So a lot of you guys are young, you don't know what this is all about. You've heard some stuff about what happened to Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers, and now they have accusations on me and all this other stuff, which is what I'm going to get into a little bit later on regarding accusations about me. But they they're talking about um, things players did back then, in which today they're judging them as cheating. In the case of Billy Mitchell, they're saying that when Billy Mitchell performed his world records for the game Donkey Kong, right? And I just want to keep you in mind. I'm going to split the going all the way back to 1982 when he performed his first 800,000 point Donkey Kong game or whatever the case may be, all the way up to 2012, I think 2010, 2012, I think 10. It's 2010. To be honest with you, because it was at the Big Bang event. They're saying that one second, let me unmute the Discord so that they can say something back to me if they have to say, because I had it muted the whole time.
Yeah, now they're saying like, oh, people
Hold on.
can, oh, Billy Mitchell can play, but now they're still saying that the point they have still stands on because
Okay, that's Zuru talking, so I'm gonna let him finish what he's saying in the room before I go on. So before, the argument was that Billy Mitchell played all of his games that he ever so-called, they said so-called because they're questioning, saying that he could never get a million points and that all of his games are impossible. He cannot get a million points. He's not good enough to get a million points. I know that to be a lie because I've watched Billy Mitchell play games. When I was in California earlier this year, I watched him perform a game where he got 650,000 points on his first man. And this is a 50 something year old man going on into his 60s. He scored 600,000 points on his first man, right? Before he was going into like the end game, and that's considered to be a good game. Just to give you context to it, in this video that you saw where you saw that footage of Billy Mitchell getting the million points, he died his first man on 100,000 points. So he had the worst possible game ever. But as he told me, they was going to close up the store anyway, so he just wanted to finish it out. This is him going under the auspices that he won't even be able to fulfill doing it for his friend Richie Knuckles getting the million point for his birthday, or for his wife who for the first time sat down and watched him play video games for the first time. She knows he plays video games. She's seen him like over there playing a game, but she never really sat down and like, let me see what is it that my husband is known for. She actually watched him play. And in that, he was able to regroup and recover the game good enough to get a million points in the game. The thing here is that the accusers at the time of the dispute that happened earlier this year said that he played on a MAME machine based on scientific evidence that they had with videotapes and whatever. To the conclusion of Twin Galaxies, they can't prove that it was MAME. Well, these are the words. Let me use the words in its actual true format. They could not conclusively prove that it was MAME. They would need more time and more technological resources to be able to determine that. But one thing they do know is that it's not an official, untampered with Donkey Kong PCP board. Now, for those who's ever watched the King of Kong arcade, you guys would know about the you've watched the machine the movie before, and you see what's this guy's name, Steve Wiebe. He got a board from a guy called Roy Schultz, and Twin Galaxies in that administration, which is the which was run by Walter Day, they didn't like the fact that he got that board from an untrustworthy source. So although Steve Wiebe achieved the 1,000,000 points in the videotape he sent based on the board he got from an untrusted source, Twin Galaxies simply invalidated the record. They didn't ban Steve Wiebe or say you can no longer compete or submit records to Twin Galaxies or Guinness World Record, which would be a good way if you want to really protect Billy's record. You could just say, you got it from Roy Schultz. I think the board's worked on. You're a cheater. You're banned for life. Boom. That'd be the end of Steve Wiebe. He'd be dead. Like, well, he'd be dead in the context of the, like he could not compete anymore, whatever the case may be. They just invalidated the score, and then they told him there was an opportunity for him to come back and prove himself to get the 1,000,000 points. And if he wanted to do so, that he could come to some event that the movie is 90% truth, guys. 10% of it is a lot of made up stuff for the entertainment purpose of the movie. So although the core principle of the movie is true, not everything you see in there is real. Like, I don't want to go and start crapping on the movie, which parts was redone or reshifted or moved. But guys, it's a movie. Come on. So in any event, Steve Wiebe went to go do the event live, and when he went to the event, he could not perform live. He tried, he failed. That's kind of funny because, in a sense, it's kind of like what happened in California with Billy earlier this year. Leading up to his verdict, he went to the Banned in California event, was not even supposed to be a part of the actual tournament, the Kong Off tournament, and decided to play in it and just practice play because he was trying to go for 1,000,000 points live at the event, and he failed. That sounds much like Steve Wiebe when he tried it at the Guinness event in the movie, and he failed. Couple months, or let me not say a couple of months, because then I don't want to spoil the truth of the matter regarding how long it took Steve to get it. A certain amount of time later, Steve Wiebe got the score. And then he got the 1,000,000 points. And in this particular situation, Billy Mitchell got 1,000,000 points later on. So he did the banning event. I think was February, March, I think. I don't know. Sometime earlier this year. But it's now July. Billy sets 1,000,000 points on the score in July. So based on the fact that they couldn't, they said that based on what they were being shown in the game, that it's the board he used was not an official, untampered with, unworked on Donkey Kong board. They couldn't accept the record. But unlike Steve Wiebe, they didn't invalidate the score. They literally stripped all of his scores ever made in Donkey Kong, even the one back in 1982 when MAME didn't even exist. There were no computers to make MAME. So the score back in 1982 stripped out of the database, wiped all of that out. Oh, and there's more. Took his Pac-Man score, Miss Pac-Man score, Donkey Kong Jr. score, Burger Time score, Centipede score, all 5 arcade scores. Wiped all of that out of the database as well. Contacted Guinness and told Guinness to strip all of his scores that he's ever done, ever, and invalidate anything he has ever done ever in gaming, literally. So him being the first person to score perfect Pac-Man and being flown to Japan to prove it in front of the president of Japan, Namco of Japan, who then they gave him the award Gamer of the Century, all that stuff that he had, they're saying it never existed. None of that, invalidated all over the fact that Billy played on an modified Donkey Kong board, which no one can prove Billy knew or not. All that can be proven is that a bunch of situations happen and we don't know what is what. He's responsible for playing on a modified board or an accurate board. He's responsible for that. For however it happened, okay, then fine. So just invalidate the score, much like Steve Wiebe. Steve Wiebe got like Steve Wiebe said in the movie, had I known Roy Schultz had a problem with Twin Galaxies and he could have possibly worked on the board, I would have never taken it from Roy Schultz. Steve Wiebe is responsible no matter what. He took the board from Roy Schultz, so he's responsible for whatever score he put out. But Walter Day's Twin Galaxy at the time said, all right, no, we understand your situation, but we have our rules and settings over here, so we can't take your score. That wasn't given to Billy. They just said, nah, straight banishment, all your records. We don't care if you can prove it. And then worse, they then banned him from ever competing in Twin Galaxies or Guinness World Record again. So even if he proves he can do the score, they won't accept it. So I've always had a problem with that verdict because I'm like, why is the punishment so hard? Like, what did Billy do to get to deserve that? This is what I thought. At worst, because when we were Billy's team was doing he had a guy called Carlos was doing a what's the word for this, testing on the whole thing and how we did it to prove that it wasn't me. And the thing is, based on what they're coming with, they're like, he's coming to the understanding that Billy never played on an official board, or it would have created that transition. So I said, well, then the worst thing that may happen is it's going to take your score away, Billy. And then Billy was like, well, it doesn't make a difference. If they take my score away, they take it away. I told him I don't want to go through all this fussing if it's an issue. Just take my scores away completely. Like, take them all out of the database and just leave them alone. That's what Billy had originally said regarding Twin Galaxies. Not Guinness, not the associates, not the affiliates, and all the other people and all the other stuff. He's like, if Twin Galaxies doesn't want to keep his records in the database, then that's fine. It's not a big deal. So when all that happened, we were like, whoa, where's all this coming from? It's not like he has 10,000 records. The man has six records in his lifetime. That's it. So it's not like it requires in-depth look to see if he cheated on any up. No, it's pretty much there, right there. Number two, most of those scores that he did for the games, he did back in the 80s. Name didn't even exist. So that's why I thought, if anything, they'll just take the Donkey Kong away, because the Donkey Kong was recent. It was in the turn of the century, 2004, 2007, I guess, for the movie or whatever, 2010 or something. But it was in the 2000s. So I was like, at worst, they'll just invalidate your Donkey score and you'll just have to prove it again. So he says, well, if they do that, he'll just get back in the lab and start, crunching the game, and then he'll just prove to everyone that he can do it, which last night he just did. But we're like, whoa, where did this wasn't life in prison. This was execution while sitting on the stand. They didn't even allow him to come off the stand. They literally Billy Mitchell, yes, you're guilty. The judge pulled out the shotgun, put it in his face and said, open your mouth. He was like, what are you talking about? He stuffed the barrel in there and clipped and squeezed, blew off his brains, blew his head off right on the stand. Guilty as charged. Killed him right there. No, nothing. Just dead. And that's why I was like, whoa, that's way too harsh. Which makes me wonder, like, what's going on with the modern Twin Galaxies? Why is that happening? And that has a lot to do with some stuff that's going on with me right now and my Contra 3 score, and dudes bringing up everything under the sun about to try to criminalize me or demonize me or make me come off as some type of, like, also, I don't know if you guys seen this video some while ago. I did a counter video to it called The Cross-Examination, right? Some guy put out a video, said that they can't necessarily find any evidence about me per se cheating in games, but something about my records are suspects, which allowed them to want to get a look into who I am as a person. And based on who I am as a person, that is good enough they wanted to use that as evidence for Twin Galaxies to judge me on. But I'm like, but that's subjective. That's your opinion. So then, do you know what these dudes do? Let me go over the stuff that these guys did. These guys went out of their way, said that me and Etika paid off. Yes, me and Etika. I don't mean to bring you in this, Desmond, but I'm just telling you, there's a video out there about me and you. And in the video, the person literally says, you, Etika, and I, literally went out and paid some minor kid to call on Etika's stream to say that the eviscerated one tried to lead him to some place at PAX. Now, everyone who watched the Eviscerated Ones video, you all know that's not true. That was a random calling kid who just called in and said that. Later on, the kid admits that he lied. He just called in because he didn't like the Street Pass guy, whatever, and he was trolling or whatever the case may be. Me and Erica, however, on the actual stream, when the kid made the accusation, we actually tried to stop the kid. We was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, it's one thing to want to meme troll and try to eviscerate the eviscerated one, or at that time he was being eviscerated, but to sit here and like accuse him of being a child predator, that's a little bit overdoing it, and you need to have evidence, because that's beyond slander. That's defamation and libel. But it wasn't me and Erica did it. It was a little kid. Little kid apologized for it, whatever. But we in fact, it's kind of funny. In the video, when the kid hangs up the call, me and Erica's looking at each other. We kind of don't believe him. We thought, we was like, I think he's been, because our opinion about the eviscerated one was not a good an opinion about him, but we didn't think he would be like that. Our opinion wasn't about him being a sexual predator. We were shocked to hear what the kid said. But if you go and watch the video's there. The video's almost 1 million views. You can go watch it again. It's on Erica's channel. You can go on Erica's channel and rewatch a video. So they tried to make it that me and Erica paid this kid to come on and say that. And they literally says, what type of person is Triforce and Erica to go pay some kid to do that? No evidence. No evidence whatsoever. I don't even know who the kid's name is. I don't even know the kid's Twitter. Never talked to him on Twitter. Never talked to him on social media. Never talked to him. The only time I ever spoke to him ever was live on that stream when the kid called in on Erica's channel. Not mine's. Called in on Erica's channel, right? And we spoke to him. So I don't even understand how that has anything to even do. But that's what they said about me and Erica. And I was like, okay. So they put a video out about that. Slander, libel, defamation, because that's a complete lie. You can't, there's no way to substantiate that. Where are you getting it from? Do you know the entire situation? No. So then they go on to say the situation with me and Knuckle Do. So there's a situation with quote unquote me and Knuckle Do where Dine and Dash. Knuckle Do invited me out to dinner with Jerron. He told me he'd pay for my dinner. We started talking about old Empire stuff because Knuckle Do used to be a part of EMP. He didn't like some of the stuff that I said. Then he said he's not paying for my dinner. So I said, okay. And I got up and I left. So it's Dine and Dash. That's actually what happened. I never sat there and said it never happened. But this is how people manipulate things. What they're saying is this, that I invited myself to dinner with Knuckle Do. He never invited me. Ordered my food, ate it, and just said, you're going to pay for the bill. Got up and left. And I was like, no, that's not what happened. He invited me. I denied it. And I declined him inviting me. My friend Jerron was like, he didn't want tensions. Ex-teammate. He's like, come on, Triforce, can you just bite your tongue and just grit it for this situation just so we can just have good? All right, whatever. So for my boy Jerron, no problem. When we had some food, he ordered. He said, yo, Triforce, you going to order? I'm like, nah, I already ate a burger, which I did. So I wasn't even hungry. So then he's like, no, let's just order something. I don't want three of us sitting on the table and me and Jerron's eating something and you're not eating anything. So I was like, all right, I'll take a salad. So I ordered a salad. And when it was time to pay for it, and he was supposed to pay for it, he said he's not paying for it. So now I was like, okay. So I got up and left. They tried to twist it now, Dine and Dash. Triforce is such a scumbag that he invited himself to a dinner, ordered his food, and then stuck someone else to pay the bill. And then he goes on to say, is this the type of person that wouldn't cheat in a record? This is the whole thing that they're implying. And then they go on and on about a bunch of other stuff, all to deal with some Contra 3 score, which I told people, oh, it's a certain strategy I use. There's like, did you use this strategy? And they put a video of a strategy, which is you standing with your back against the wall in Contra and you're just shooting a bullet straight and enemies appear on the screen and just die by the bullets infinitely for like 3 or 4 hours until you get max score. So I was like, nope, I didn't do that. So I did an actual strategy. And they brought up the original form where it was discussed 10 years ago. And I was like, no, it's an actual strategy that we had go through Twin Galaxies admin and they approved it and the record went through. So I don't see what the problem is here. And it even talks about it. Yeah, one of the guys, actually, his name is PJ. Actually, he's like, I know the strategy Triforce used. I just don't know if it's legal or not. Well, I'm the one submitting the record, so I wasn't going to wait on him to go find out if it was legal for me or not. So I made sure I talked to Lance, who was my ref at the time for that game. He said he's going to go talk to the admin in Twin Galaxies and find out if the strategy is legal. If it's legal, the score goes through. Okay. Actually a day later, score went through. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's legal. He's like, yeah. Lance was like, I spoke with the heads and they pretty much said that it's a legal strategy. So they was like, we don't know what strategy you're talking about. There's no way. We spoke to the contra experts and all this other blah, 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 blah. None of them say you could get it. So I was like, then y'all just don't know. So there's like, no, you cheated, you leached, you this, you that. They accused me of everything. They started coming up attacking me personally and all this other stuff. And, you got trapped in France. What? What does me being trapped in France have anything to do with whether or not a score was... What? Why are you going into that? Strict buffoonery. It had nothing to do with anything. Dudes is talking about my personal life. I put up a video of us doing a charity in Jamaica. Dudes came on the video thread in Twin Galaxies website. Triforce, so when are you going to prove yourself innocent on the contra record? I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, yo, keep that conversation in the dispute form. Stop bringing that over here, especially on my wall. You're harassing me. You know what they said? No, we're not harassing you. We just want the conclusion to the... I'm like, who are you? You're not the authority in Twin Galaxies. I don't have to answer to you. Like, please stop bringing that up on my forum. Then dude just made a whole list of posts about it. I was like, that's crazy. To the point now, I have to lock all my threads. I don't want anyone commenting on my threads anymore. So innocent people who want to naturally comment on what I post on Twin Galaxies because they think it's cool or whatever, can't even comment no more. Because if I leave it open, these guys will come in and start posting all this nonsense. And this is actually here on the Twin Galaxies website. So I was like, why are these people like this? So now, guess what? Like this month in July, some kid knew the strategy and actually performed it on Twitch. So he posted it on Twitch and they brought it on. They put it on the Twin Galaxies video. And in the video, it literally says, he's like, this is what he did. Took him about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes to do it. Roughly, that's about the time it takes to actually perform the strategy or whatever the case may be. And that's all good. So now he knows. Unfortunately for these guys, I already spoke to the administration of Twin Galaxies and told them about the strategy and told them the administration before them, they already knew about the strategy and it was all okay for them. They said, no, it's not leeching. So I was like, even if Twin Galaxies determines it's leeching now, that has nothing to do with when I did it. I did it in a different time of Twin Galaxies. You know what that's like? That's like someone going, so let's say marijuana becomes, I'm just giving you a hypothetical. I'm going to show you how stupid this is. Let's say marijuana now becomes globally legal because it's been proven for a long time that marijuana doesn't do anything to you. I don't smoke, period. Cigarettes, marijuana, crack, coke, meth, whatever. I don't smoke anything, right? But let's say they just make marijuana legal now, right? All over the world. And they go, all right, we're going to ban cigarettes because cigarettes has proven to cause cancer. Cigarettes now worldwide is illegal because it kills people. This is proven. It kills people, right? This is the new law. That's like now they go back to the Marlboro companies who made cigarettes back then and said, because you sold cigarettes back then, you are going to prison today because we now made the law illegal for cigarettes. Cigarettes are illegal. It's like, but I sold cigarettes when it was legal, not when it's illegal. So you're gonna retroactively punish me because you're changing the law? That's literally what these guys are trying to do. Literally what they're doing. They think it's leeching. I'm like, but it's not. First of all, I don't care what you think. You're not a ref. You're not a part of the Twin Galaxies administration. You cannot determine whether or not it's leeching. You don't have any power to do that. You're not a ref. So that's your opinion and you're allowed to have that. You're entitled to the opinion. But how is that? How is what you think fact? It's not. Now, if you want to press it and tell Twin Galaxies that is leeching, yo, make that illegal, then by all means go and do that. But if you think about punishing me for something I did then that was legal, first of all, when I did it, it's not like it went through. It had to go through admin. They had to determine at the time. So they determined it was legal and they put my score in. They're like, no, it's illegal. Some guy, Data God, is like, running to Walter won't save you because he had nothing to do with Twin Galaxies at the time. What? My man said Walter had no power in Twin Galaxies. So how did Walter sell Twin Galaxies to Jace Hall in 2014? If Walter had nothing to do with Twin Galaxies, no ownership, no authority, no power, no nothing, how can Walter sell something he has no power, no authority, no ownership to Jace Hall? Because Walter had power, had authority, because he owned it. That's why you sell it. It's his. It's like you can't sell someone else's stuff. That's called stealing. So in order for Walter to sell it to Jace Hall, he has to own it. And if he owns it, yeah. That's pretty much. Now, whatever you think about the situation regarding what Walter's position in Twin Galaxies is, that's your problem. But the fact of the matter is, that is what it is. Walter's been running events all the way up to when he sold it to Jace Hall. If Walter didn't own Twin Galaxies, then how is he running events? Who gave him the power? Who's investing? Who gave them the authority? So when he said that, first of all, Walter is actually like the last guy on the evidence list. It was actually the senior ref at the time that actually validated his score. He said, oh, okay, yeah, that's not leeching. He's not standing there. He actually has to perform skill to do it, which the kid in the Twitch video actually shows him performing. It takes a certain amount of skill. You have to dodge. You can't sit there. If you stand there, you're going to die. One of the things is going to drop on your head and kill you. You can't walk away from the game and leave it unattended. You will die. So it's not leeching. Plus, it's a forward progress because you're killing the ball slowly. So all of these guys changed this, started saying, oh, this not only the scores leeching, Triforce bribed a ref. Listen to this story, guys. This is another crazy one, right? They're saying I bribed the ref, and watch this. And this is the best part because they lack knowledge. They weren't there. So what they're doing is they're creating their own narrative by painting their own picture and then commenting that picture as to be the truth rather than getting the information. Most of them are under the impression that Royal Lance and Todd Rogers was my ref when I first came into Twin Galaxies, which they weren't. That's the best part about it. There was another ref, don't want to say his name, they'll find it out later. They'll go figure out which ref it is. It's gonna they love digging. I'm like, these guys literally go to like old forums 10 years ago and they're reading like 40 pages of stuff to look for information. Dude, just straight detectives. So they're gonna find out who the actual ref was. Anyway, point is, when I first got into Twin Galaxies, this ref was someone I made VCR tapes to, VHS tapes, and I had to submit my scores to. And I sent him. Ref, I'm not even, just to make their work a little bit harder, won't even tell you what state the ref was in. Go find that out on your own. So in any event, the ref has to take on this work and whatever the case may be, and he's doing a lot of refereeing and watching people's tapes and adjudicating people's score and the whole 9 yards and so forth and so forth. And I just kept dumping in tapes to him all the time. I was dumping in back tapes. I was dumping in a world record. I was sandbagging my records. So there's records where I'm like, here, take this tape, put this up first. If someone beats it, then use this tape. If someone beats that, use that tape. If someone beats this, use this tape. And he's like, why don't you just put the main one up? I was like, nah, I want them to earn it. And it's like, man, Triforce, this is a lot that I gotta do. I said, no, it just makes it easier for me so that anytime someone beats the records, I don't have to keep doing it again and send it to you. So I'm sending it to you in a bulk one time, which the ref was kind of annoyed by that. He's like, all right, he'll just sit on the tape so he doesn't have to wait. If it comes and it happens and he sees it, he goes, okay. So then one time, I sent him a score, and me and him had a conversation. He was like, it's hard doing all of these records because Twin Galaxies does not pay refs. They don't pay off any of the refs. They do it pro bono. And he felt a certain type of way about that. In fact, a lot of refs felt secretly about it. You're working for this organization, adjudicating records all this time for so many years, and you're doing it pretty much for free. It's literally just, it's an volunteer work that you never benefit from per se. Very few people benefited from this work. I tell you that much. So I was like, oh man. So I felt sorry for him. So when he adjudicated my last record, I say, hey, yo, I appreciate all the work that you did as a token of my appreciation. I tipped him. I said, yo, I'm gonna send you some money here. Take that. Hold on to that. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. He then said right there and then, I don't know if I can take this money, Triforce. So I said, why not? And he was like, because I don't want this to be a conflicting issue of some type of moral. So I'm like, I'm tipping you. I'm in a diner. I order food. Your job's to bring the food to me. That's your job. That's what you're doing it for. Whether you're working there as a volunteer or you're actually paid, that's your job. That's why you're there. You're giving me the food. I want to tip you. This is considered unethical? How? So he says, I need to go and ask permission if I can take the money. So I said, all right, do you. I'm just letting you know I'm giving you the money as a tip. He goes and he asks, and they go, nah, we don't want you taking any money because we don't want it to set a precedence to where it makes people feel that they can pay money for their records. So he comes back and says, hey, Force, just to let you know, they said I can't take the tip that you're giving me because they don't want to set any trends or anything like that. So I'm sorry about that. You won't be able to send any more donations or any tips or any whatever the fuck is it that you want to call it. So I was like, all right, saves money in my pocket. I was like, that's crazy. We can't even tip y'all. That was it. It was like a one-time thing. Like, that got resolved instantly. It's not like I was tipping, and someone found out. And I was like, is he paying off the ref? No. I tipped the guy, and the ref at the time who got tipped went and told them. And told me he was going to go tell them. So I was like, okay, guess what now in Twin Galaxies today in 2018? Dudes is like, Triforce is bribing refs to get his records in. And they think it's Lance and Todd Rogers. That's the best part about it. They think it's them I'm paying off. So I'm like, sorry. So I'm too loud, guys. So this is it's just crazy. So I'm like, these people will just come up with anything. And the sad part about it, when you go on the Twin Galaxies website, it is massive chaos. Dudes is in there writing everything under the sun about people, attacking people, their reputation as a human being, their families, their friends around them. They just don't believe me. Go talk to Tipster. Tipster was just talking about it. Dude made a video about Billy Mitchell getting 1 million points last night. Holy smokes. The same people that was cheering, kill Billy, kill Billy, kill Billy, kill Billy. He gets 1 million points. Hey, Billy Mitchell got 1 million points. Kill Tipster, kill Tipster. I'm like, yo, these people are psychotic. What is their problem? This is madness. This is where Twin Galaxies rep would say, madness? This is Twin Galaxies! No! Because this is what it is. It's so bad now. Before I just had a problem with it and I disliked Twin Galaxies. I literally hate Twin Galaxies now. I legitimately hate it because of just what it is. I went earlier in the year, when we had our Discord was popping. I said, guys, the new Twin Galaxies, the way that, like, Jace Hall the Twin Galaxies staff did an excellent job modernizing the Twin Galaxies website, where it merges and fuses the past and the present today into one ultimate esports site. I wrote a post. I saluted Jace Hall. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. This is what it's supposed to be. And I said, yo, we got to start EMP and the EMP community. We have to go support Twin Galaxies. We literally got to go support Twin Galaxies website. So I told dudes, sign up for Twin Galaxies. Dudes in my Discord, hey guys, go sign into Twin Galaxies, set a record, make yourself be known, come and blah blah blah. Dudes went into TG, holy dog. These guys went ham on my guys. Dudes was sexist to one of our girls called Katarina. Like, there was like, shouldn't you be in a kitchen or some stupid nonsense? I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but because I don't know exactly I can't remember what was exactly said, but dudes was like, you're a home, because some of the people in TG used to call me, well, at the time, they're no longer in TG, used to call me a house boy. Now, I wonder what houseboy. They was like, Triforce, why are you Billy Mitchell's houseboy? I wonder what houseboy means. So when Cat came on in the channel, right? And y'all think I'm lying. Hold on, let me get into the Discord here. Let me get into the Discord. I don't even think Cat. No, it's just me and Zuru, and he's muted. All right. So when Cat went in there, they said you and you house people, and the reason why is because the majority of Empire Arcadia is black. So a house boy, a house girl is the new word for saying house N. So we was like, really? We going here? This is what we're talking about? And dudes attacked and went ham on the players to the point where Twin Galaxies was. They actually had to step in and was like, this is not going to be tolerated no more. You guys need to stop this. This is crazy. One of them got a life ban. No, was it a life ban? Like a 4-year ban because they was like, they didn't want to stop. And then they turned on Twin Galaxies and started attacking Twin Galaxies. And all types of other crazy nonsense. And it's like, it hasn't stopped, B. The site literally, the asylum members run the site now. Like the part of the site that does the modern news, that's run by like their editorial staff and whatever. The administration runs the database. But in terms of a community with a forum where you go and talk to actual people and get involved with the community, toxicity max. Like literally absolute poison. Final Fantasy poison level 99 max. I'm talking like the minute it hits you, it doesn't even say 999. It says infinite death poison. I'm like, why is this place like this? And I don't even want to post there no more because it's the sheer savagery that just goes on there. It's just crazy. It's nuts. And that's why I'm like, this is what I'm going through. I'm like, Tipster now found out for himself, like the dudes just turned on him, started stabbing him in death, giving the man death threats. Like, well, he's always said there has been death threats from people from the classic gaming community or TG or whatever, that when he was being neutral to Billy, being neutral, dudes just giving him death threats and all this other stuff. So it's just madness, B. It's absolutely crazy. Anyway, guys, I just had to vent what was on my mind. Like, literally, when I saw the guy on Twitch do the strategy, I was like, damn, they found the strategy. Because I don't like strategy thieves. Well, you guys know I've been involved in the fighting game community. So when you come up with a new tech, you try to keep it a secret so you can use it at Evo to better your chances to win. You don't want no one to know your strategy, so you hide it. These guys are getting upset because I did that with classic games. Like, everyone didn't do that with classic games back then. Like, come on. Like, half these people who play Donkey Kong today wouldn't be as good if not for Billy Mitchell or Steve Sanders. And Steve Sanders wrote the book about Donkey Kong. So if these guys didn't write the book and do the strats, none of these guys would even know. Until then, TSA comes out. Because with the tool assistance, you can break into the game and then find everything. And then optimize it even better than what they wrote with the book. But, like, these are the guys that actually did it. So they get upset about it. And it's just, it's crazy because it's like, you would think that they would be like, all right, I don't think your score is legitimate because I have video evidence that you did this instead of what you said you did that. Nah, it's just, I don't think you did it because the ref you did it with is corrupt. Well, that's your opinion about the ref. No, the ref is corrupt. Do you have any evidence to state that the ref is corrupt? Does the ref have a track record of falsifying records, inputs into the system? Does the ref have invalid scores, he or she self? Does the ref have a criminal record, like in real life? Or like for theft or anything like that? Can you substantiate that first before we call the ref crooked? Nope. Or corrupt? Nope. It's just because it's your ref, Triforce. He's a crook. That's your evidence. Yeah.